Yo, what's up everybody, it's Muradov. We're more digitally connected than ever before. I mean, I can message someone across the world right now, boom, instant. But at the same time, millions of us are feeling totally alone. Think about it. When was the last time you had a real face-to-face conversation with someone you just met? Not a text, not a DM, but like actual human interaction. I picked 4 activities that kept popping up as ways to meet people. Team sports, climbing, book clubs, art classes, and I put them to the test. No special tricks, no hidden advantages, just me, an average dude trying to make some genuine connections. What I found blew my mind. Turns out, science backs this up. Studies show that real-life connections can actually make us healthier, happier, and even help us live longer. Let's figure out where to meet people, how to break the ice, and build the kind of friendships that last. First up, team sports. There's something uniquely exhilarating about being part of a team, working together towards a common goal. Now, I'll be honest, my athletic career peaked in high school gym class, where the most intense competition was over who could avoid getting hit in dodgeball. But I figured, why not give it a shot? Life's too short to not try new things, right? So, I signed up for a community netball league. Yeah, netball, you heard that right. A sport I knew almost nothing about. Turns out it's huge here, super inclusive, and they were all about welcoming beginners. It was like finding a hidden gem in my own backyard. First practice rolls around and I'm instantly hit with that familiar wave of awkwardness. You know, the kind that makes you question all your life choices. Everyone seemed to know each other already. They had their inside jokes, their pre-game rituals. But then, something amazing happened. As soon as we started playing, all that self-consciousness melted away. We were all focused on the same goal. Passing the ball, scoring, not tripping over our own feet. It was like we were all in sync, moving as one. We were all focused on the same goal. Passing the ball, scoring, not tripping over our own feet. And let me tell you, there were plenty of near misses. There were definitely some hilarious moments, let me tell you. Like the time I tried to make a dramatic save and ended up flat on my back. Let's just say I won't be quitting my day job to go pro anytime soon. My skills are more suited to office chairs than sports courts. But here's the thing, it didn't even matter. The joy was in the playing, not in the winning. Every time I messed up, my teammates were right there, cheering me on, laughing with me, not at me. It was like having a second family. That kind of support, that shared experience, it creates a bond that's hard to explain. It's like we were all in this together, no matter what. Researchers at Oxford found that when people move in sync, even if it's just walking in step, it triggers a sense of shared intention. It's a powerful thing. This shared purpose, this feeling of being part of something bigger than yourself, is like social glue. It binds us together in ways we don't even realize. We'd grab drinks after practice, share stories, celebrate victories, and commiserate over losses. Who knew, right? It was more than just a game. It was a community. Next up, I decided to tackle something a little more vertical. I was looking for a new challenge, something that would push me both physically and mentally. And that's when I stumbled upon indoor bouldering. I'm talking about indoor bouldering. It's a form of rock climbing that strips away the ropes and harnesses, leaving you with just your shoes, chalk, and the wall. Now, I've always been drawn to climbing, the physicality of it, the mental challenge. The idea of solving a puzzle with my body was incredibly appealing. But I also thought it was a pretty solitary activity. Boy, was I wrong. I quickly learned that bouldering is as much about community as it is about climbing. The minute I walked into the bouldering gym, I was struck by the sense of community. It was like stepping into a different world where everyone was united by a common goal. Everyone, from seasoned climbers to first-timers like me, was cheering each other on, offering advice, and celebrating each other's successes. It was an environment filled with positivity and mutual support. It was like this unspoken understanding that we were all in it together. No one was competing against each other, instead we were all pushing each other to be better. And let me tell you, bouldering is hard, like really hard. The routes, or problems as they're called, can be incredibly challenging, requiring not just strength but also strategy and finesse. But every time I felt like giving up, someone would offer a tip, a word of encouragement, or even just a spot. It was this constant cycle of giving and receiving support. A study in Germany found that bouldering therapy was actually more effective than traditional exercise for treating depression. This makes sense because the activity demands your full attention and presence. Why? Because it forces you to be present, to focus on the problem at hand, and to work together to find solutions. It's a mental and physical exercise that leaves no room for distractions. You're literally supporting each other, both physically and emotionally. The bonds you form while climbing are unique and strong. So whether you're a seasoned climber or just looking for a new way to challenge yourself, I highly recommend checking out your local bouldering gym. It's not just about climbing, it's about the friendships and connections you make along the way. You might just surprise yourself with the connections you make. The climbing community is welcoming, supportive, and always ready to help you reach new heights. Alright, time to trade in the climbing shoes for something a little more, shall we say, literary. I'd heard that book clubs were a great way to meet people, but I'll admit I was skeptical. I mean, I love a good book as much as the next guy, but sitting around discussing plot points with strangers? Not exactly my idea of a wild Friday night, but hey, that's the beauty of this experiment, right? Stepping outside my comfort zone. So I signed up for a local book club. And to my surprise, they weren't just reading, they were writing too. Creative writing sessions, they called it. Now, I hadn't written creatively since like middle school, but there was something about the atmosphere that just made me want to open up. Maybe it was the dim lighting, the smell of old books, or the fact that everyone there was just as nervous as I was. We started with these writing prompts, little sparks to ignite our imaginations. And as we shared our stories, something magical happened. By the end of the night, we were exchanging numbers, recommending our favorite authors, and even hugging it out. Last but not least, it was time to unleash my inner artist. I had always admired the world of art from a distance, but never really thought I had the talent to be a part of it. The idea of creating something from nothing, of expressing emotions and stories through colors and shapes was both thrilling and daunting. Okay, artist might be a bit of a stretch. My previous attempts at drawing were limited to doodles in the margins of my notebooks, and even those were nothing to write home about. My artistic abilities pretty much begin and end with stick figures. But there was something about the idea of a life drawing class that intrigued me. Maybe it was the challenge, or maybe it was the opportunity to step out of my comfort zone and try something new. But I'd heard great things about life drawing classes, so I figured, why not give it a shot? I had nothing to lose and everything to gain. Plus, it was a chance to meet new people and maybe even make some friends who shared a similar interest. Now, I'm not gonna lie, walking into that room full of easels and canvases was a little intimidating. Everyone seemed so artsy. They had their own supplies, their own styles, and a confidence that I definitely lacked. But then the instructor started talking, and I realized that everyone was there for the same reason, to learn, to create, and maybe even to connect with others who shared a love for art. The instructor's passion was infectious, and it made me feel like I belonged, even if I was just a beginner. There's something incredibly vulnerable about drawing the human form. It's not just about getting the proportions right, it's about capturing the essence of the person in front of you. It's like you're capturing a piece of someone's soul on paper. Every line, every shadow, every detail tells a story, and in that moment, you feel a connection to the subject that goes beyond the physical. But there was also something incredibly freeing about it. The act of drawing became a form of meditation, a way to lose myself in the moment and forget about everything else. No judgment, no pressure to be perfect, just the simple act of observation and creation. It was a space where mistakes were not only accepted but encouraged as part of the learning process. As we sketched and shaded, the room fell silent, except for the gentle scratching of pencils on paper. It was a silence filled with concentration and creativity, a shared understanding that we were all in this together. It was like we were all in our own little worlds yet connected by this shared experience. Each of us was on our own journey, but we were traveling together. And when it came time to share our work, something amazing happened. The room that had been filled with silence and concentration suddenly came alive with conversation and laughter. People weren't just critiquing the technical aspects of the drawings, they were talking about the emotions they evoked, the stories they told. It was a reminder that art is not just about skill, but about expression and connection. By the end of the class, we were laughing, sharing tips, and even exchanging Instagram handles. What started as a room full of strangers had become a community. It wasn't about who was the best artist in the room, it was about the shared experience, the vulnerability, and the simple act of connecting with others, who saw the world a little differently. In that art studio, I found a sense of belonging and a reminder that sometimes the best connections are found in the most unexpected places. So there you have it, 4 very different activities, 4 very different experiences, but one common thread, human connection. Looking back, I can honestly say that each of these experiences pushed me outside my comfort zone, challenged me, and ultimately helped me make some amazing new friends. The real magic isn't in the activity itself, it's in showing up, being open to new experiences, and putting yourself out there. Just start by asking a simple question. Hey, have you done this before? You'd be surprised how quickly that can lead to a conversation, a connection, and maybe even a lifelong friendship.